Please subscribe the channel and press bell icon for notification.
10 years ago, but if we 2 decades ago, but when the internet was still nascent, it just would have been a completely different experience. And technology, of course, is allowing us to make sure that we can get accurate information out to people. That has implications in health, like you're talking about, in education and helping serve people better. And I think it shows a lot of the promise for what's ahead. And I think we've certainly fared better now than we would have if the pandemic had hit us before.
I couldn't agree more, Mark.
I know, going back to Reliance, one of the great business stories in history, your father founded Reliance Industries, and he has just this incredible legacy here in India. And now I've read that he once held up a postcard in his office and said, if every Indian could speak with each other at the cost of this postcard, where will India be? And your father clearly had a vision for where things were heading in the country. And because today Indians can communicate with one another for less than the cost of a postcard. And that's what we've tried to do with messaging, and hopefully we can do that together with payments and make it so that people can use India's new UPI system, which I think is just great. It's a tremendous public good that the government has put out there. But I'm curious, before we get into UPI and more on that, I'm curious, what's the most important thing that you learned from your father and his legacy that has helped you build these just amazing businesses and get to where they are today?
So, Mark, thank you for those kind words on my father, right? Just so that when he motivated us in 2000 in terms of saying, can you make voice at the cost of a postcard, right? In 2020, right? We're very proud that Jio has pioneered free voice. So all 400 million people, and that's a tribute to his vision, are on our network have free voice. And as you said, my father was a son of a school teacher. Right? He came to Mumbai with just 1,000 rupees in 1960 and established Reliance with a belief that I will invest in businesses of the future and I will invest in talent. And for all the young people at Reliance and across India, I repeat, my learnings in terms of building Reliance, in terms of really three basic tenets, right? One is for entrepreneurs, it's important to have courage and self-belief. And there can be no better person to demonstrate that in the last couple of decades than you yourself, Mark. So, all of us believe that, we have to believe in ourselves, right? And all of us know as entrepreneurs that we don't succeed at the first attempt. And self-belief comes to you when you fail. And self-belief increases your confidence when you succeed. So courage and self-belief is something that I always tell entrepreneurs that remember that's important. The second piece that he started and he's instilled into all of us, right, is that while you succeed, it's important to always have empathy and creativity in everything that you do. And by empathy, I mean put yourself in the other's shoe and make sure that how you make them feel is how you would want to feel. And at Reliance, we do that at many levels now. We care for our employees.
Please subscribe the channel and press bell icon for notification.
Our investors, society, environment, and above all, national interest, India. And within creativity, and I always give this example in terms of saying that when Reliance needed to grow, right? Capital markets were not there. It was 1980s. And my father came up by saying, I will actually share shares of Reliance, which was never done in the private sector. And in the 80s, right, the first AGM of Reliance was in a football ground. And we had 60,000 shareholders. So when you and I both do annual general meetings, and his GM in the 1980s for Reliance was in a football ground, and he said, my purpose is really to win investors' confidence. And since then, there is creativity and empathy are critical as you go along. And the final thing that I have learned from my father is really the importance of relationship, trust, and loyalty. The whole of Reliance, right now we are hundreds of thousands of people, is one big family. We're not related by birth, but we are really woven together by passion, purpose, and conviction. Right? We have faith in one another. We are loyal to one another of this large Reliance family. And for us, it's always one for all and all for one. And I hope that, creativity and empathy are critical as you go along. And the final thing that I have learned from my father is really the importance of relationship, trust, and loyalty. The whole of Reliance, right now we are hundreds of thousands of people, is one big family. We're not related by birth, but we are really woven together by passion, purpose, and conviction. Right? We have faith in one another. We are loyal to one another of this large Reliance family. And for us, it's always one for all and all for one. And I hope that, a lot of people around the world can relate to this. That's what we believe at Reliance. And, for all of us at Reliance, he will still be the founder. And if we follow his vision in terms of investing in businesses of the future. Mark, that brings me to now my questions for you. Mark, what made you believe in India and the Geo story? As I said, that you have started this FDI avalanche in India, and the world recognized when Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg in the middle of lockdown said, I'm going to bet on India and I'm going to make, even in this uncertain times, right, one of the largest foreign direct investments in India. And what do you think of the digital network that you are clearly I call you the architect of the digital network of the world. While I have built some connectivity and broadband connectivity in India, you've done that for the world. That has...
Please subscribe the channel and press bell icon for notifications.
And please share with us your experience of, as the digital architect of the world, how your global Facebook has helped people in this crisis, and your perspective of the crisis and where you see the world today and where it is going after you just explained to us India.
Your words are incredibly generous. I mean, I started this to help give people a tool to stay connected with their friends, and then expand to friends and family and communities. And a lot of this has just been that ends up being a universal human phenomenon. No matter what country you're in, everyone cares about their friends and family and their communities and wants to stay connected. And what we've seen is that India is actually home to the largest communities in the world across Facebook and WhatsApp and getting there on Instagram as well. And it's just, so we see the vitality and the entrepreneurship and the creativity of businesses and how much people want to connect. And you see a tremendous number of people coming online, a lot of that thanks to your investments and the work that you've done to enable hundreds of millions of people to come online here. And I just see a very promising future in India. We talked briefly about how there's a big trend of financial inclusion ahead, and how the ease of payments is going to be such a big deal for commerce and giving people self-reliance and kind of control of their own destiny. And a lot of that is we just launched WhatsApp payments in India last month. So now you can send money to your friends and family through WhatsApp as easily as sending a message, and it's that was possible because of the UPI system that has been built in India, a unified payments interface. It makes it easy for anyone to instantly accept payments across different apps. I think we're working with 140 banks, or it's supported by 140 banks out of the gate. And India is the first country in the world to do anything like this. It's so we're grateful to be able to support this kind of innovation, to help to work to create more prosperity and help achieve a more digital India. And frankly, I think that a lot of other places around the world are going to be better off when they follow some of this lead that India has set in creating public goods like this. So there's really a tremendous amount to be inspired by with what is going on in India now. And we're just grateful to be able to serve our community here and help people stay connected with the people they care about, but also create economic opportunity as well.
Thanks, Mark. As you said,